regional finals to try and cement their place in the grand finals. I feel like we're saying the word final a lot, but that is because we have reached the tail end of the tournament. I am Shogun and joined by my boy, Lawler. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Say final for me one more time.
Final.
That's a lot more than one, but
It definitely is.
I'll take it. But the guys at the desk explained it perfectly. This Gale Force team has been absolutely dominant, just sweeping through their competition, almost literally on their way here. As for Method, they've had a little bit of toss and turn, but the big thing for them, they're over that hump. The difficulty of playing at land, they've never had success. They're having success here. Let's get right into it, though. This best of 7 in the winter final.
I said it during the regional finals that this was some of the highest quality Rocket League you can see when these two teams meet. I'm going to say it yet again. This is the highest quality Rocket League you will see when these two teams meet. We are going to have an absolutely phenomenal series here as we're going to start ourselves off, as we always do, on DFH Stadium. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Method can finally seem to find their offensive speed that they just have been lacking so far this tournament, showing us a different side of themselves up until this point, whilst Gale Force want to continue their utter domination of the bracket.
The defense of Method is going to be absolutely crucial, trying to shut down the offense of Gale Force. For ways to do it there, those demos taking out a lot. You and I kind of talked about that and got the chance to talk with these guys about how their play style works. It's a two-man style. They pretty much play twos with Mets and Mog, while Lot just rotates around that midfield waiting for his opportunity. They get rid of that threat, they should be good to go.
There is Mognus on the backboard. So looks to try and get passed out, but a lot is loitering. Mognus now has to try and take on Violent Panda. It is a very, very dangerous area to be in. But you are correct, Metsonaris and Mognus, one of the biggest duos in Rocket League. Unfortunately for them, they're against one of the other biggest duos in Rocket League, the winners of the Universal Open, K-Dop and Violent Panda beating Method in the finals. There is almost nothing to celebrate. I mean, to get rid of these two teams as all now played over the top. Here is Metsonaris trying to push the ball into the corner.
Expect the pace to be a little bit slower as they go back and forth. But someone always sitting in that middle. You see Turbo Pulse and Violent Panda working really well together as they play this downfield. K-Dop with an opportunity, beaten out by Mognus.
Mognus going to try and get back up yet again. Turbo Pulse with the block, opening up the opportunity for Metsonaris. One touch, looking for the double tap, almost gets there. But it will just flop underneath him. Still Method with the pressure. They try and find any sort of bounce off the backboard that Gale Force cannot respond to. But Gale Force doing a very good job so far of staying disciplined in defense, not overcommitting. But Method, if they keep attacking like this, it is only a matter of time before they find their way out. Violent Panda looking for Turbo Pulsar, gets the doink, but is not able to turn it onto net. But the most important thing is they are finally out of their half.
I thought you were saying the most important thing is you got the doink.
Okay, that too. Doinks are the best part of everything. Turbo Pulsar, yet again, he seems to be taking up an a-lot role on this field, all the way downfield, being aimed for as an opportunity, as a way out from Method's defense attack. There's Mognus off the backboard. Here comes a lot. Mognus is just pushing, sumoing K-Dop out of the area. Their shot was not on target, but creative gameplay coming out from Method. They look more like themselves.
Trying to assert dominance on that back end, but then you get it back. Turbo and K-Dop working together.
In sumo, there are a couple of things you can do. You can push or you can throw. We saw one down one end, and then we saw the throw just there. Turbo Pulsar, easy net, and he will turn it in for the first goal in this upper bracket finals. So Method need to respond. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. One goal is the difference. They did have the vast majority of the pressure, but what is pressure if you don't get anything to show for it? Gale Force, as always, lethal on the offense. Here is a shot. Turbo Pulsar not able to save it, but also able to control the ball as well. Metsonaris with the challenge in the midfield. Now Method with their opportunity to try and press. Good setup. Oh, just missing the final touch from Mognus. Twice now Method were in prime position to score, and twice they were unable to get the final touch.
Despite that, still Metsonaris is able to be the first one to the ball and keep that pressure on. But wasting no time, Turbo Pulsar trying to go for the air dribble. See if he can get a second touch. Dunks over the top of Mognus, but missing just wide.
Shot there, blocked, all the way down to the other end of the pitch. Gale Force on the retreating defense. That is a one heck of a clear there from Turbopulsar, taking advantage of the demo over in the background, finding the space and putting it back over to Method. With time running out, there is lots of work left to do, and Violent Panda once again going for the demo plays, and it almost gets turned in. Gale Force are all over Method when they get their opportunities in offense. Yet again with the ball, it's going to go off the post and in. Gale Force, they're not getting many shots, but they are making them count.
And what was a crucial save by Mets just doesn't matter. K-Dop immediately turning back around, and then a soft touch on that open net, but the placement absolutely crucial, completely out of the way of anybody trying to get there.
Minute and 5 remaining, 2 goals is the difference. Method need to find their finish. That will be one of them, roaring back into the match.
Great way to stop that momentum. Right off the kickoff, you see Mets win that one out. And then Magnus first to the ball, beating that last defender, staying a little bit cemented. Really well done. Minute left, still plenty of time left on the clock in game number 1. As these guys trying to battle back on this next kickoff.
Gale Force strong all over the pitch. Method strongest and just piecing together an offensive play as quickly as they possibly can. It's almost been a role reversal of sorts. Gale Force, a team that usually likes to press the opposing team, cause them mistakes. But Method has been doing that instead, and Gale Force on the counterattacks, just getting everything they want.
A little bit of a role reversal for these two teams.
Snaris puts the ball up to a lot. Just gets their first Violent Panda now to the other end of the pitch. With the setup, you can see K-Dop, he doesn't want to jump, instead waiting in the midfield to control the ball, keep it in Method's half as time is not on Method's side. Follow up there from Violent Panda. Only going to send one for the time being. It is all down to Method to get something going, but time ticking away. Only going to have a few more opportunities left, and another big clear from Violent Panda. He is all over the pitch in this final minute, not even breaking a sweat with his defense, and with that, the ball will touch the floor, and Gale Force will take game number 1.
And what could have been a 3-1 scoreline in that last second. You just see what these guys have been doing throughout the entire tournament. These subtle pass plays inside. You saw another one from there. Violent Panda threaded through between these two defenders. It just seems to be that all these touches are on point. And to do that at this stage, under this kind of pressure, is just insurmountable. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they keep showing up, and now it's Method's job to bounce back, something that they get the advantage. They know what they're doing wrong. They can figure it out and try to change it up.
Absolutely. No team has been under more pressure than Method. Well, maybe Cloud9. That is a team that likes themselves for Game 5. But Method have been taken all the way every single time. I would not be surprised if it went the same way this time around, but yet they need to find a response. It's the same thing that they had problems with against NRG. It's the shooting accuracy. But against NRG, they were at least hitting the ball. This time around, just a couple of inches away.
Well, the nice thing for them, this is our first best of 7 that we're seeing so far in the tournament. Still plenty of time to kind of figure those things out. Usually when it hits around like game 3 and 4, people really get their footing. But to know there's still a little bit extra after that is what makes it so difficult. Everybody talks about it being a marathon or an endurance race. It's exactly that. These guys have everything in their power to kind of figure out, but making it easy on themselves is not something they really do because of the situation they're in.
Exactly. There is no part of being in the RLCS World Championships that is designed to be easy. You are forced to work for it. You are forced to grind for it against one another until we only have one team left. Turbopulsar goes forward, forcing the move out from Snaris. Looking for Turbopulsar yet again. Good creative play to start off this match from Gale Force. A little bit of a warning shot to Method to let them know, yep, we are still one of the best passing teams in the world.
Well, ball going to the midfield, immediately played back in, but you're starting to see Gale Force working the field really well, one side to the other, slowing down, just making it very unpredictable as these one-touch pass plays start to develop. Ball going into the corner of Method, waiting to get cleared out, but instead they play passive, and a shot comes in from K-Dop hitting the crossbar.
It's something that Gale Force like to do. Sometimes they'll take passes where it actually makes more sense to shoot, just to try and condition you to think that way, to make sure you think, okay, there could be a pass right now, and that is when they catch you out with the unexpected power shot from the midfield. Now the ball off the backboard, Turbopulsar. Good half volley from him, straight into the middle of the field. He wants to try and get a block on a lot, but the ball just swings past him. Instead, Turbopulsar holding himself in the midfield yet again. He did this last game, and it did work out for Gale Force. Shot from Violent Panda, a rocket caught by Magnus and flung across to the other side of the field.
Good decision making as well by Turbopulsar there. Rather than contesting it right away, he lets it off, waits for his time, gets full boost, and now he's able to sit at that midfield, wait for an opportunity, and contests like that are what make them so dangerous as Violent Panda just trying to force his way through.
Gale Force trying to force as many challenges as possible. A lot low on boost is not going to be able to get down to block. More shots from Violent Panda. Just trying to see whether or not Method would like to make a mistake. So far, none made. A lot. Bounces the ball off the backboard. Look to try and follow it up. And what a great shot there from a lot. Method take the lead.
Beautiful shot, but all because K-Dop on the back, trying to rotate out, get that boost, but Magnus already steals it. So he just has to sit and watch. It leaves that defender a sitting duck, and Method back on top.
This is more how this was supposed to sort of feel coming into this game. Gale Force, the majority of the pressure, trying to get Method to make a mistake, but Method, those fast counter-attacking plays, making use of a lot in the midfield.
That defense is just so frustrating to go against.
Tell you what, NRG and PSG would tell you the exact same. Follow-up, goes off the post and off the rebound. Magnus turns it in, and Method, this is what they wanted to see.
You can see it in those player cams. Those guys are getting away with one. They know it. Magnus missing that shot and able to follow it back up. Just got to put your body in front of it sometimes, Shogun.
I know a lot about that. I don't know what that means.
It's funny, man. I'll give you that.
Oh, thank you very much. 3 minutes and 11 seconds remaining. Method 2 goals to the better. So a lot would like to make it 3 with the early shot. Violent Panda's touch, not the best, will invite Method to continue their offensive game. Gale Force struggling ever since that first goal went in. Now trying to find their first bit of offense. Will be Turbo Pulsar looking for the setup, but is there anyone even to set up towards? 2 players committed though from Method will offer K-Dop the opportunity to take the shot. And there is Magnus trapping the ball against the post and then getting it into the corner, but still Method stuck in their own half. Good challenge win there from Metsonoris. Will take it to the other end.
Just approaching halftime in game number 2. Gale Force taking the first game, but Method bouncing back quite well, up 2-0. As the ball settles in the midfield, a play off that backboard opportunity snuffed out by K-Dop and settling perfectly for Turbo Pulsar. But something you're starting to see a little bit more. He's slowing down the pitch, just trying to bring at least one defender out to make it a solid 2-on-3 or 2-on-2 position. But Method's staying put on defense, something that they're very comfortable with.
Method trying to take advantage of their ability to create long shots from almost anything. See yet again, there is no attempt to really try and search for a lot. Who will still almost make something out of that. Method content to keep the ball out of their half. There is every single play committed. They're going to have to try and rotate back right now, almost making a mistake there.
I mean, you want to talk about a line, what kind of season he's had. Ever since James kind of threw him a little bit of shade, he's like, all right, I'm done with this. And he's been popping off ever since. Expect him to do nothing less here as he's getting more and more comfortable as time goes on.
The biggest motivators in the world. Money, fame, and proving James Bot wrong.
I mean, it worked for you, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, James. Metsonoris now in the corner. Try and get it off the ceiling, and it will drop down. Challenge there from Lot. He does get their second, and as time is continuing to tick away, Method continue to make themselves more and more comfortable. They were caught out consistently by Gale Force in game number 1, but this time around, he seems to be much more comfortable. There's the shot, backboards, but Turbo Pulsar has read it. For you right now, what are Gale Force doing differently? What is really making them struggle to get any sort of offense to maintain for a consistent amount of time?
A lot of it just seems panicky. Oh, never mind. Turbo knew exactly what he wanted there.
Turbo Pulsar makes everybody else panic when he's got the ball. Lovely first touch from him. He makes Magnus think that he's just going to put it behind and bounce it off the backboard and follow it, but instead, 1 touch, 2 touch, finish.
Well, back within 53 seconds left. Similar position to game number 1. Opposite result on the other side of the pitch. The ball settles into the corner. You're going to see Turbo Pulsar do the same thing. Something that this Gale Force team likes to do at this point is slow it down, go for the dribble, try to bring somebody in.
Is anyone back? A lot has to try and get them in. Look at Turbo Pulsar. He has read everybody on Method a story.
Way to give yourself options. 2 players at that pitch. Violent Panda just says, nah, I'm getting boost, completely ditches him. But Turbo Pulsar doesn't need his help. Able to follow up his own shot. All tied up. Game number 2.
The story of Turbo Pulsar, the man looking for his 2nd consecutive RLCS crown. And with the way he's playing right now, there would be no reason to doubt him. VP with the pass up top. K-Dop though. Let's challenge the midfield. Here's Turbo Pulsar yet again. Just trying to see whether or not Method can get into their own heads after they've dropped a 2-goal lead. Almost the first time that's actually happened this season. Method usually so clinical when they've picked up that brace. But despite that, if this ball does not head into a net anytime soon, we will be going into an overtime, and an overtime where Gale Force has all the momentum. Just need the Ball to drop down. That is going to be Violent Panda trying to scramble himself back. He has managed to play that one really well. We are going to hit OT.
Overtime between these very even teams. He's trying to get off to an early start. Mets powering through two defenders, drawing one out, but it's going to settle right in front of their net. K-Dop being met by a last-second rotating Magnus. Really well played as it transitions into the middle of the field.
K-Dop so quick. He picked up his opponent's boost and immediately turned around, trusting his teammates to get around and defend if he is not around. Magnus with the shot. Magnus! Incredible!
I feel like we see this from this team more than anybody else. It's almost highlight perfect. A big clear upfield to someone on the team. Doesn't matter who, and then immediately redirected into the net. What a way to close out game number 2 for Method. Tied up in the series.
Role reversal. This time, Magnus holding himself in the midfield, and a lot, usually the cherry picker, provides the delivery. We are all tied up with one game apiece.
The big difference to me is looking at the scoreboard. Mets didn't have a single shot. Just playing that support role, it's what makes these guys so dangerous. I mean, they talked about it for Gale Force, but I mean, the same thing for Method. Any one of these players can really rotate and go to a different position on the field and fill in. It doesn't matter, and that's what makes them so dangerous is this game, it's Magnus setting up, so it's like, okay, Gale Force is gonna be like, all right, we gotta watch out for Magnus game. And the next game, it's a lot. And then the game after that, it's Met. So it's one of those situations where it's like, who do you pay attention to? It's all three. You have to just be careful at all times.
Absolutely. So, all tied up. Both these teams having solid games. That was a really important match there for them to pick up. Not only to tie up the series, but after they dropped that 2-goal lead, that would really play on their minds if they went on to lose.
Especially after being up 2-0.
Absolutely. That is just not an area you want to be in. But we are still very close statistically. We are very close in game. With potentially five games left to play.
We're very close in person. You know, just
come here, mate. I love you.
Miss you too, Shogun. I know we've been together all weekend long, but it can never be too much, right?
Game number 3, Method versus Gale Force. Both these teams have had their opportunities to shine, but one must shine brighter. As it is the opportunity to take the lead in this series, hanging in the balance. Violent Panda wants to keep it away, but here is the pressure. A lot is actually on the backboard. We know what he can do from back there. Crucial from Turbo Foster to take the ball away.
To try to perform that on a stage like this. Unbelievable, but they're trying to waste no time trying to play this out of their backfield. As it plays into the corner, Violent Panda and the rest of this team of Gale Force just sitting there waiting for an opportunity. But the defensive method still prevailing.
There's a real big midfield battle happening on this pitch. Controlling the 2 mid boosts will be absolutely crucial for both sides. Both aerial based, both love to go for the passes. You can't do either of those things if you have got absolutely no fuel.
It's actually what I like to see from Gale Force as well, as you say that, but they've been dribbling it and bringing it to that ground play quite a bit. Just anything to add an extra weapon in their arsenal. So far, neck and neck, both teams tied. As a minute goes by, no goals on net just yet.
Violent Panda looking to launch. There is a lot. He hasn't been in this role often, but you just get an example of what he is capable of. Now the ball flicks over again, and Metzenaris. What is that angle, my friend?
You see a lot play this across, and all the boost expended, but Turbo also hitting that post just puts him completely in an awkward situation, but that angle from Metz, oh my goodness.
Left-hand corner of the pitch into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal. No one on Gale Force expecting it. And now they need to respond. Turbo Corsa with the set. Method, though, with that 2-person defense will hold on very well. And a lot so far this tournament has not looked like he's been comfortable in his usual cherry picker role, but now Sun seem a little bit happier and gives Method a couple more options across the pitch. However, that does open them up. If Gale Force can do what they do ever so well, which is clear with such power, it might just catch them out.
It's just so dangerous seeing the amount of power they get from some of these touches. It doesn't matter where they are on the field, but be able to get from one side to the other, just one quick touch, just opens up so many opportunities for Gale Force.
Flick up. Just going to see if Magnus will make a mistake. It will be a bit of a Turbo Pulsar who puts that straight backwards. Gale Force will start yet again. Magnus, wrong clear. Turbo Pulsar have to spring back after Violent Panda's touch was not necessarily too convincing. Now Method are on the prowl. Magnus, he actually got the full reset, landing all 4 wheels on it. And if he was just a little bit closer, he could have pulled himself off something that we saw from Devo back in Season 2.
play that made us all lose our minds collectively. We didn't even know what happened.
But anyway, boom resets were very new. It's still just as incredible nowadays as it was back then. Although that is a bad first touch. Magnus needs to get a clip, but he's not there. Save there. Will come out, and there's the Turbo Pulsar to turn the ball in. We are all tied up.
Not one, not two, but three. Everybody getting involved with that initial setup from Violent Panda, just asserting dominance to kill it in front of the net. The rest follow through. Eventually, Turbo needs to play that a little bit lower. Could be a little bit scary. The accuracy has been kind of plaguing them as of late.
There's an opportunity that came out of absolutely nowhere, but Gale Force's ability to shadow one another is just unparalleled. It allows them to take advantage of any mistake around the field. Long ball over to Alot and Magnus, who both jumped a lot with the setup to Medzenaris, and that was lethal. But Gale Force hold strong. How do you even read that as a defender?
You don't. You just jump and close your eyes and hope.
Well, he managed to get there. That is all that is important for Gale Force. Holding on to their hard-fought tied game. K-Dot with the shot, which bounces off the post. Follow-up from Turbo Pulsar. K-Dot still got enough boost to continue offensive pressure. One touch, then to the double. How is K-Dot this good?
He just puts in so much time and effort and makes it look so easy, rotating his car upside down to make sure that corner of that car gets that little bit extra boost, and then making sure to do an in-game high, I don't know what that is. He was celebrating with his teammates in a really awkward way.
Just like that sentence.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
10 out of 10.
Yes, Turbo Pulsar now with the full control. Gale Force with control of the match. And Turbo is on the hunt, just taking out 2 players consecutively. There's a lot, and the rest of Method trying to get the ball out of their own half, looking for a goal that could bring them back into the match. As yet again, they have struggled and been unable to convert upon their own lead.
You are starting to see Gale Force play a lot more aggressive, just beating this Method team to the ball.
Gale Force did very well yesterday against Ghost Gaming. They just start to read where you're putting the ball, and because they're very good at holding players back, they read where you're going to put a lot more and catapult it back into your half quicker and quicker. Get to a point where you've not even touched the floor before the balls hit your net.
Oh, with only 40 seconds left, only down by 1, Method still has plenty of time to make something happen, as well as at 0-second time. Shots like that not going to work, but able to capitalize off that opportunity is a lot top left.
2 goals to 2, and Magnus will be the setup guy, but K-Dot, I think he wanted to put it anywhere except for where it went, and Alot will take advantage.
Yeah, it was in a difficult situation being up on that back wall, just had to jump off and hit it the best he could. Fortunately, it was right into the hands of Alot. And with 30 seconds remaining, all tied up, this one could go either way.
Method with a very solid overtime win percentage. I believe they've only lost 1 all season long. They would like to keep that going, but even better for them would be to not even see overtime. And we almost saw a 3rd goal for Method, one that could have taken them their 2nd win of this series. But now it is Gale Force down to the other end of the pitch. Shot was played low. 2 players committed as well. They need to get back as quickly as they possibly can. But Magnus might have just lost them their opportunity. Played the ball a little bit too long. Still, the ball is in the air. Violent Panda looks to get to the air, and he just wants to drop it as quickly as possible. Overtime has been reached.
Back-to-back overtimes last time, ending in Method's favor. Gale Force trying to stop that and get that momentum back as a play quickly inside off the kickoff. It's stopped up by Method.
Here comes the follow-up from Alot. Gets a double tap. Not too sure he wanted it, but Medzenaris looking for Alot. There is over to Magnus. Great team play, and it's gone off the crossbar. The important player on Gale Force right there was the crossbar. Still, though, Method not going away. Yet another passing play, trusting one another. But they need to find that finishing touch. This time, Alot coming out from an impossible angle. And Turbo Pulsar with a near impossible read will keep it out.
That Gale Force boost there being absolutely crucial, allowing them to get across the net, but K-Dot had an opportunity missing out. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them. As Turbo Pulsar puts another shot on net, just anybody trying to apply pressure. Something to make an opportunity. Oh, Turbo Pulsar with the rotation.
Last second, Turbo Pulsar gets back 2 goals to 2. We are still all tied up in overtime. Violent Panda looks for the backboard. Magnus puts himself further behind the goal line. That will give him more space to react. He's gone up high. He might not get there, but he does get a block. Now Alot controls the ball, looking for a back pass, but Turbo Pulsar is still around. Gale Force so good at grabbing themselves your rope boost, half rotating and coming back in, and they have brought themselves to 2 games to 1.
The same stuff that allowed them to win the regional championship. Turbo Pulsar double backing rather than rotating out. Applies that constant pressure, keeps that pressure up, and then the rest just follow into suit. Gale Force back up on. Immediate response from them, unbelievable play.
Gale Force's rotation has just got such an incredible flow to it because they are so happy to just say, right, I'm not going to rotate properly this time. I'm going to stick around, I'm going to steal some boost and allow my team just to figure it out themselves. Let's take a look yet again at what was an incredible opportunity for Method. Does not go in though, but it wasn't over from there.
No, as soon as they made that save, that's what Gale Force does so great. They try to clear it out, but Method is adapting to that. As soon as that ball gets played high, there's someone there to put it right back in. We saw another 2 shots before Violent Panda was able to get boost, and then completely clear that down to the other side of the field. That misdirection of play builds them a little bit of time, and then they capitalize on it.
Yet again, though, Gale Force outshot by Method. Method are having the more opportunities, but Gale Force are having the better opportunities, and that is currently the difference maker, the only difference maker we have in what has been a ridiculously close series so far.
Always going to be back and forth. The last game 3-2 as well, going into overtime. But this is when it gets really juicy. This is when you really start to see the teams go for creative things. And if we're looking at the team players on the pitch, it's like, who's going to do it better? You can't pick. Like, it's just going to sit back, enjoy, and watch.
We come into this matchup, mentality doesn't become much of a question for us right now. We've had it a couple of times, but both of these teams so experienced at every stage possible. They have taken each other on numerous times, and we're going to see who can be the team to come out on top this time around. Magnus looking for Metznaris, the duo coming together, the duo being incredible as always.
Pointed out the first time, we're going to see it here again. Instead of Magnus this time, who is it? Oh, it's Mets, okay. One side of the field, up to the top and into the net. Only 11 seconds into this game.
A lot. Just a spectator to start off the match. I think he would have it no other way. Oh, another opportunity there for Metznaris. He's actually caught out Gale Force, respecting the possibility of Metznaris just putting in the negative angle shot, but instead it will remain 1-0 as Gale Force still looking for their first major offensive threat, finally getting the ball into their opposing end. Violent Panda just managed to stop himself in time after almost getting a little bit too close to the ball off his double jump forward. A lot, not able to control. There is one of those half rotations we were talking about from Gale Force. So slippery, very hard to predict because they can pop out from behind you. And when most players usually just control the game by having constant bull cam on, you don't see them coming.
No, so difficult to see and have that awareness. It ends up just becoming a field, but a pass play inside, quick 1-2, saved by the defensive Method. As Met's going to try to solo this past one. The pressure of Gale Force is there, trying to fit this one in. They're not done yet. You see Turbo just with a what?
This is going to be Metznaris. He has to get there in time. And there is Caleb. The ball has gone past him a lot now with the ball by himself. Flicks it up high. He just wants to give his team some time to get back into rotation. But a very tense moment there for Method. Now, oh, that was a pretty poor touch. Magnus is going to have to play us all the way back. You can see Caleb and Turbo Pulsar are right behind him, trying to find something.
I guess that's one way to do it.
Well, if you've got people chasing you, you might as well run the other direction. And that is exactly what he did. Keeps Method in the lead and a lot. It's just one big challenge away from putting them 2 goals to the better. End-to-end gameplay. Kadov catching that with the bottom of his car is going to leave that for a lot to come through. Half volley there for Violent Panda as Turbo Pulsar yet again loitering around, trying to be a bit of a nuisance towards Magnus, who was in the goal. Pass there from Magnus, not quite what Metznaris was expecting, more expecting a bouncing ball rather than the roll up the wall that he did get. As we head into the half-time point of this game, only 1 goal to separate these 2 teams. That could go the entire way. That is going to go the entire way. Kadop caught out with no boost and magnetizing himself too close to the midfield.
Similar situation as well, the game number 2 where Method was up 2-0. Gale Force was able to bounce back, but Method inevitably took it in overtime. It's because of plays like that, though, working the field from one side to the other, just these quick touches back towards the net, what makes them so dangerous.
Now a lot coming in. Method trying to look for that third goal. They could potentially put the nail in the coffin. Heard me talk earlier on that they barely ever drop a 2-goal lead. Well, they have so far this series, so I'm sure they'd like to put this to a 3-goal lead.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. Score more goals, you'll be better off. And that was almost another one to go in. Follow up from Magnus with the setup, trying to pull Kadoff out, who does read it well. Just bait hanging over your net every single time a player tries to hit it up there. And because you're so panicked, because the game is going so fast, it's very easy to make the wrong decision, but Violent Panda is full of correct ones. Great pass! Violent Panda carrying it across the entire field.
Great individual play from the Day 2 MVP, one after another. Reads the first jump, stops that one, gets the second one immediately after. And it was all after a decision he made from the very beginning. Rather than contesting a ball a lot was going to get to first, he backed off, got boost, then recontested. Smart play from Violent Panda, their captain.
Sometimes you're just going to need a player that will stand up and give you your opportunity to receive a chance to get back into the match. That was what Violent Panda was right there. Magnus with the shot, almost managed to turn it in, but straight into Turbo Pulsar. Seems like both these teams are lacking in shots that will head into the upper 90. And more putting the shots towards the middle every single time. You do see it quite often when teams are no longer focusing on actually creating the best shot possible, but ensuring that they just hit the target.
Oh, high lofted balls, kind of what these guys do very well, one after another. Trying to draw anything out. You've seen GALE kind of giving up on that slow, kind of methodical play where they try to dribble it upfield and draw somebody out.
A lot cherry picking. Just going to keep it away. You see him immediately use the rest of his boost to get back into his side. What about time wasting right now for Method? And they are doing a very good job of it, but we've already seen how lethal Gale Force can be. Flick up over the top. So he waited. Another touch. Almost went too high for a lot. Kadoff now. Beat yet again. Method are jumping quite often. They're going to have to try and rely on a lot who was on 15 boost. Just gets up there in time. Anything more powerful above him, he would not have been able to reach, but it was just at the right height for him.
Well, with 35 seconds left, another large clear coming out from Method, trying to kill this clock as much as possible. Gale Force wastes no time playing that back downfield. Potential chance for Turbo Pulsar, but gets stopped by Method playing the midfield. 15 seconds gone by. The pass plays coming in. A pass over from Kadoff to Violent Panda. Back to Kadoff, trying to squeak that in, but two defenders waiting for him.
The creativity from Gale Force is insane right now. Something that you wouldn't even consider doing with 15 seconds remaining. They did try and pull off, but it just didn't quite work out. Now they need to score. Otherwise, it will drop to the floor, and Method will tie us up at 2 games apiece.
Back and forth yet again. Method looking way stronger this match, though. The first decisive victory we've really had, despite the score saying otherwise. They really controlled all areas of the field here.
Absolutely. What's it going to take to separate these teams? They went one exactly. They went one apiece all season. I mean, league play, Method took the win. 5-game series. Then we went to regionals. Gale Force took the win. Now we see these two teams playing for a spot in our grand finals, and once again, so close it is impossible to call. Which actually I feel like is quite nice because we can just sit here and enjoy what we're watching.
I mean, that's the beauty of seeing really two high caliber teams, is they both elevate each other to another level and everybody spectating gets a better experience. But to give credit to Method, Gale Force had only dropped 1 game in both of their series throughout the rest of the tournament, and now they've already got 2 under. So they're already doing twice as good as everybody else that Method has had to technically take on, I guess, in an indirect way.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Gale Force is good. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gale Force is good at Rocket League.
They're really good. They're really good.
They are. We should 2v3 them one time. I think we can win.
Yeah, sure, totally. I just want to play against them.
Same here.
The best part. Please, guys, stage.
So, game number 5. The winner of this will go up to match point. The loser will have their feet dangling over the shark-infested waters that only has 1 shark left in it right now, but that is Cloud9. And Kadoff almost poaching himself a goal, delayed his last touch, but just couldn't find a way to turn it in.
Right idea as well because of how close he was to that backboard. But immediately back on possession, you see Violent Panda trying to go over 1, gets stopped by the roadblock that is Mets. Ball playing back and forth. Immediately 1 touch after another, a lot denying boost, and then immediately right back to that midfield.
Mentioned it with Carpet during the season that a lot of these passes that we see from these teams are like shots into one another's bumpers. It allows you to maintain such a fast pace. As the ball flicked up yet again, a lot will be going up, but K-Dot with the challenge. Going to be neutral for the time being. Magnus with the follow-up, and that is a crucial challenge there from Violent Panda. Nobody on the goal line for Gale Force. Finally, Turbo Pulsar and K-Dot are back, but Methods seem to be finding one another a lot. Negative angle, it's going to loop, and there is Violent Panda there just in time. Double touch as well will keep the pressure away.
Violent Panda is playing out of his mind right now.
Double tap a day keeps the Method away.
I'll allow it.
Thank you very much. Metsnaris looking for a lot. Finally finding his role in this series. Turbo just wants to keep it away from Magnus. That's now over to Magnus, and there we are yet again. Something that Method love to do. They will intentionally challenge and use the player that did challenge as an extra option to try and clear the ball to. Gale Force opening themselves up to it once or twice. Now Magnus takes out two, but a lot is beat by K-Dot on the goal line. Gale Force, however, are doing a very good job of holding someone on that goal line. They know what Method want to do. They know they want to go for the pass. And if you can put someone in a good position to go through for the intercept, then you haven't got to worry about those strong infield shots.
It's exactly that. They're doing a much better job of reading how these guys are starting to pass the ball. Just interjecting a player to make sure they can shut down that last touch, because usually that's all it is for Method. They play it upfield, and then it's just a quick one touch to somebody else, and they put it into the net. As long as you stop that one, they're going to have to try something else out.
Turbo, the backboard, only over to a lot, who can touch and then control over to Metsnaris, who's going to take an early shot. That should not trouble K-Dot, and it will not. Take it down to the other end of the pitch himself. Zero boost does mean that Turbo Pulsar must come in. Lovely pass over to Violent Panda, and there is nothing you can do about that.
What a beautiful touchdown. But it all started with K-Dot initially as well. That's how good these guys are, that 50-50, just setting it up perfectly. And then Turbo Pulsar, no hesitation, shadowing that, reading it so quickly. But he has to expend all of his boosts. If it doesn't work out there, they're in big trouble.
And I want to just point out how much information you have to take on so quickly there if you're Turbo Pulsar. He's in the air, he knows where his teammate is, and he sees the defending player as well, who expects a shot off the backboard that will then be followed up. Instead, passes it straight down to the side with a sublime touch, and Gale Force, just incredible.
A lot of double touch opportunities stopped by Violent Panda. Method trying to waste no time shutting down the momentum that is from Gale Force. They do like to get off on a roll. Stopped out and immediately cleared by a lot as Mets trying to win this over Turbo Pulsar, who takes a good touch up. But two players there, and immediately a shot on net saved again by K-Dot.
K-Dot jumps, hopes, and saves. That will keep Gale Force in the lead, but Method continuing to try and find a way through. They are beating one player after another. Solid challenge does come through, but a lot immediately putting the ball back into a danger area. Turbo Pulsar constantly a pressure, constantly a danger. Just able to redirect his car so quickly in the air and control the ball. Most players can't even catch the ball when it puts them on the floor. He can catch it in the air, and almost Method catching up to Gale Force in the game. The shot going off the crossbar for the second time this series.
Watch is trying to create opportunities for his team up on that offensive side. Also going for a bump on the back end there. The Method just, like you said, almost as if they're sharks just surrounding, waiting for an opportunity once they smell blood, which is the ball. And an opportunity, 50 seconds left. Only up by one is Gale Force. Winner of this goes on to match point.
I think every single player on this pitch knows that right now. That's the reason why Method have refused to give up just yet. You want to see from their rotations at times that they are giving up the possibility of a long shot from Gale Force just to have more offensive opportunities. Now a lot tries to get a block. Desperate challenge there from him, but once again, he's going to hold himself in the midfield. Options for Metsnaris to aim for. Instead, Metsnaris choose option A, and that is himself. Tap down from Violent Panda over to K-Dot. Once again, the bread and butter from Gale Force, forcing Method to react and getting more time off the clock. Another demo.
5 seconds left. Violent Panda trying to end this one. Puts a shot on net, saved by Method. Someone needs to get under it, and they do, but it ends up going back into their net, closing it out for Gale Force. Now on match point.
Lawler, you said it yourself. Violent Panda looking to finish it off, and he does. All all over the pitch. I had to look at times to see whether or not Violent Panda has got unlimited boost, because he has been so fast so far. And I have to say, Turbo Pulsar is having a great midfield game, but Violent Panda is the standout player right now for me.
Turbo is maybe having a great midfield game, but Violent Panda is just having a great game altogether. Just everyone on the pitch doing fantastic plays all over. But it really makes sense on how this Gale Force team is able to do it. I was watching them all day yesterday, and how their style of how they're able to keep that pressure. Something has to be said about their boost management. There's something about this team when they move upfield where every single player has at least 75 boost or above almost every single time.
Honestly, at times we look at it as analysts, and it still doesn't make sense. You can watch it numerous times, but their positioning, their boost management, everything is almost as good as it possibly can be. And for Method, a solution has to be found here, because that was a pretty dominant game.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that we've seen in this entire series. Obviously, these guys going back and forth every single time, able to make those adjustments they need to. But Gale Force is really starting to find their pace, reading these passes, shutting down Method's primary mode of attack, which is a quick clear up to the top, right? And then a shot back in. So it does look like they are feeling comfortable as well.
They look happy.
Doing a couple signs here and there, having a good time.
They're going to need to be...
Sweaty palms, though.
Oh, everyone's a sweaty tryhard here. That's how you make it into the RLCS. You see on the other side, Method. On the other side of the pitch, on the other side of the stage as well, need to bounce back. It is game point, it is match point, I should say, for Gale Force, looking to book their spot in the grand finals.
Turbo Pulsar is just hoping to repeat that title, but Method in their way, not going to make it easy. Getting a demo, allowing them to clear it upfield, but Turbo Pulsar there to meet it immediately. Drops down, pass plays, one touches, anything Method can do to get past this defense. The pressure is on.
Turbo Pulsar now can long clear, looking for K-Dop. K-Dop will actually get the set. Is there going to be any follow-up? Method looking shaky to start off this match, and K-Dop is going to have the opportunity just to have a little sniff at the ball, which was taken away from him.
There was an opportunity there. You saw K-Dop go for that bump on that last defender. Just nobody in the midfield going for it. But again, a last-second save. These guys sweeping across, every touch just on point.
Method look like they're still playing the last 2 minutes of the last game. The demo, hugely critical from Turbo Pulsar, will not allow a follow-up. As Method were lurking the first time they've managed to mechanically succeed with one of their plays in this game. That's Norris pounding the ball off the backboard, but it will line up straight for K-Dop. Back and forth so far a lot. Just wants to push this straight down. He did have Metsunaris coming in from the side. Both of these teams, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but very good of utilizing ball cam and player awareness. They always come in from the blind spot and take it away when you think that you're comfortably going to get the ball.
It's also one of those situations of the communication. Obviously, these guys have been working on it a lot. Which is that subtle...
Is that an open net? That's an open net! Turbo Pulsar, first goal coming out of nowhere, and Method just drop.
It's because of that pass play, again, that unselfish thing you were talking about, just the awareness of their teammates. Rather than K-Dop going direct, he passes it back to Turbo, and it completely draws out that last defender, just goes flying by, and it leaves a wide open shot. Just over a minute and a half in game number 6. And Gale Force trying to put him away. Still plenty of time for Method.
Momentum on the side of Gale Force in a game that Method must win. Flick over the top of it. Will be Turbo Pulsar up first. He's actually put that straight down to a lot, who could have potentially tried to take that ball under his control and then went for some plays. But it seems like Method are just happy to layer shot after shot at Gale Force and see whether or not the armor will break.
Well, it's only a matter of time if they keep playing aggressive like that, just bullying people off the ball. Turbo and K-Dop working great as a duo upfield and in a wide open situation. K-Dop takes his time, misses the shot. But the ability to slow it down even in moments like this, so dangerous.
Like he could have put up to a 2-goal lead there. Just taking the early shot. Metsunaris will go coast to coast and tie us up.
K-Dop trying to let that one go. It's difficult after a situation. Like you said, it could have been 2-0, but immediately, and credit to Method, to bring that back downfield and tied up at halftime.
Did a lot have much to do with that there? Was he looking at a lot and maybe thinking it was in, or did he already know he's not going to get to that? He just couldn't get to it at all.
It's just one of those things that's hard to tell with these guys.
Oh, wow.
Another mistake, Magnus, and immediately being down 1-0 is now up 2-1.
It was a mistake, but it was a forced one. Metsunaris bouncing all over him with the Goomba Stomp. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Rocket League is coming to the Switch. And that is what it takes to put Method back in the lead. You already know me, Lawler. I'm a great sellout. A lot's been taking lessons. Mesnaris gets to that ball just in time. That would have been the worst situation for Method to take. A great play to bring themselves back into the lead, and to drop it that quickly would have been heartbreaking. Another shot, a lot. Tries to dive straight down, but cannot quite do it. I think he caught himself on the ceiling.
Yeah, a lot had to make that first initial touch, and he landed on the wall to give himself the ability to do a jump reset. Just the placement from K-Dop, getting right past him. A little bit of difficulty from Lot, all tied up again. But I don't expect anything else out of these two teams.
Gale Force do not want to see Game 7. They want it finished right here, right now. Go backstage and relax as they watch their potential rivals battle it out. But there's another big demo. Magnus needs to try and get around, but Violent Panda, the only part of RNG in Rocket League is where you spawn, and he spawns in the perfect spot.
It's one of those things these guys have to have on their mind. We've never really had a team drop down from the winners finals and make it back. So they're trying to avoid that at all costs.
Now Metza cannot quite get it past K-Dop. He looks for another challenge win, and he has done so, setting up for Violent Panda. Soft touch from him as he tries to get a double touch, and he has succeeded. There will be no follow-up. Player behind him just waiting to see whether or not the Method team would have actually won, but instead it was Violent Panda who is back in yet again. Well, I talked about it a second ago, but he is the fastest rotation I've ever seen.
Oh, Lot trying to get in the way to create an opportunity for his team. It bounces out and played immediately back to him. But they decide to back off, give the possession away to Gale Force. Try to come another day. As this team really starting to aggress these initial touches. Makes it difficult for Gale Force to boost up and get out. And there it is again, just staying at that midfield, waiting for an opportunity.
Okay, that's caught out. Follow-up from Mesnaris is taken away by Turbo Pulsar. Very heads-up play from last season's world champion, spotting the mistake and reacting immediately. Now to the other end of the pitch, Method are trying to get the ball out of their half, but Violent Panda one touch. He hasn't got the boost for the follow-up, so it will be Magnus by himself. He's got Gale Force members to his left and his right. There were no good options there for him, but he still managed to play the ball out by himself. Now Violent Panda flicks it on. It's going to be an awkward area. I think if there was any part of the wall that you want that ball to touch, it was not there. Ends up dropping straight down for Method to take control of the ball. Now we're into the other end of the field. Violent Panda, another long clear. Sets it up for Magnus, who doesn't get the greatest contact. Too low boost as well to try and follow up for a second touch. And with 8 seconds remaining, all tied up. It is all to play for in this series. As if it touches the floor, we will head into overtime. It looks like we will. Everything on the line. Method must score here, otherwise Gale Force will win and head on in the bracket.
Third overtime for this series. First one going to Method, second one going to Gale Force. But coming down to just individual plays from both.
There's a lot. Good flick on. He's only got one more player to beat, but that player is K-Dop, and K-Dop has got way more boost. Still a setup though, drop straight down. Here comes Mesnaris, but it's taken away, and a lot straight up to Magnus. Method want that goal. They want it right now, but Turbo, with a crucial touch, gets it back into midfield. Double players committed from Method. That might just drop their offensive siege, and it does. Now K-Dop one-on-one against Magnus, and Mesnaris, big demo, forces his way through the car.
Crucial play to stop that momentum, but it's not over yet. You see Gale Force trying anything to make these plays happen. Violent Panda making the correct decision to slow it down, but Turbo Pulsar shot on net, drawing another defender out. Two committing, dangerous potential.
Magnus and Mesnaris are constantly committing. Yet another double commit. Follow-up comes in off the crossbar. Still nothing to separate these teams. 1 minute of overtime played, and still Gale Force in the offensive, refusing to go away. Follow-up from Violent Panda is going to go off the backboard. The follow-up is not there as Mesnaris flicks it up high. And finally, mercifully, Method have it out of their half.
Finally a chance to breathe, and you're going to see the passive playstyle really come out as two players committing for that and actually make a mistake. 1-on-3 situation here for Mets. Gets the boost, buys some time, doing anything he can to help out his team.
Another double commit once again from Method. They have to finish this off soon. I'm not too sure they can handle the pressure if this continues. Shot from Magnus. Two players committed from Gale Force. The pressure is on for everybody as Mesnaris is beat huge, but Magnus will be back. Not a second to breathe for anybody on the pitch as Magnus with yet another clear into the body of K-Dop. Follow-up from Malot. Just going to push it straight into Turbo Pulsar as he wanted to get a block. Not quite there, and now Violent Panda bullying the Method defense as Magnus will finally get back in. He's on 45 boost, and he does get the play. Well done to get himself back into the rotation as quickly as possible. A lot with the shot, but it's not on target.
Still opportunities for
that is huge.
As the play goes in front of the net, barely saved again. These guys just putting on pressure, no remorse for the consequences that are to come. As Gale Force trying to give themselves a piece of that $55,000, bringing on to the grand finals.
These players are thinking of the consequences, though, Lola. The consequence is the positive one. A spot in our grand finals. Nobody's thinking about losing right now. Everyone is thinking about how to pick up the win. Now, Metznaris will have to try and rotate back. 2 players committed. Violent Panda has the ball taken away by Turbopulsar. Usually just sort of play the Gale Force do pull off very well. Metznaris into the corner, looking to take out Turbo. Instead, here's going to be the pass. Does wait. And Violent Panda, with the ball away, will head over to Turbo, who flicks it up high. Oh my goodness, Lola. 3 minutes of overtime played. And I am shaking. I have no idea how these players are able to maintain such a high level of play for such a long time. But they are doing it, and Method want to finish it a big clear. But still, the brain works along with the hands. Rotating correctly, there is someone back.
All it usually comes down to is one mistake, but neither of these teams wanting it to be them. As the ball plays into Gale Force side, K-Dop playing that into the middle, throwing away possession immediately. Method steals it back and it plays back down to their end.
I said when we got started here, I didn't think Method could play well if this continued on, but they've actually thrown into this overtime, looking like the dominant team. Need to ensure they do not overcommit. Violent Panda once again up high. He seems yet again to constantly have full boost, always there to prevent the options for Method, who are still in offense. Double touch there from Metznaris. A lot comes in, taps it straight down, but there will never be a third man right there. There is too much on the line to have a third man right there, overcommitting. And now a lot, and Metznaris, they'll be glad that it's got over to Magnus, who just couldn't quite get contact. Mistakes coming out even from Violent Panda. As here's an opportunity, long ball played. K-Dop, one-on-one. Does get a touch, but a lot has got time to turn around. I don't think he's got any boost though. Will be beat to the ball. Turbopulsar once again into the corner. Gale Force know that Method are out of everything. They're going to play around it as such. An opportunity there for K-Dop, but he got to the ball too early. Cannot turn the ball in. We are rattling towards 5 minutes of overtime, and still 2 goals to 2.
Ball played up into the corner, immediately cleared out again. These teams trying to get it off their side as quickly as possible. Gale Force trying to pressure Turbo, also with a pass opportunity out to his teammate over to Violent Panda, who misses. Someone who's been on point all game, but a lot able to transition that down.
Who will be the star? Who will be the one player to step up and crack this series, crack this game? But Turbopulsar now almost gets there. He's actually forced a lot of players from Method to jump. We have now gone over 5 minutes of overtime. Metznaris into the corner. Usually when we get these long overtimes, it is so slow paced, but it has been anything but here. Violent Panda, early shot from him. Maybe showing some of those jitters as now K-Dop has to try and get back, knowing Magnus is behind him. But usually we'd see Gale Force trying to go for a 1-2 tap back right there. Violent Panda, he just wants the ball in the net.
Saw K-Dop and another player from Method fighting in the corner of Gale Force, which actually heavily favors this Gale Force team as the ball pinches across the front of the net. Both teams putting all their effort into this one. If Method wins, it makes you kind of think, like, what happens in the next match? Is that enough? Like, what
happens in the next match? We continue to have great Rocket League, a lot. Just gets it to the other side. Violent Panda will have plenty of time to try and control. He goes for a pinch instead. Attempts to go for demos as well. Very heads-up play. K-Dop by himself puts it up high. Not quite there. Here's Turbopulsar with a follow-up. Now here comes Violent Panda. Method control well. Now they can break to the other end. Just too slow though. Gale Force not committing enough boosts where they beat completely out of position.
We're within 1 minute of the all-time RLCS record of 7 minutes and 17 seconds by Flipside and Mocket in Season 2 World Finals. These guys just trying to find anything. Any sort of
mistake. There's the goal! There is the difference maker! Method trust one another, and it is a Method-style passing play that will give them the win. Lola, Game 7!
Did you expect anything else to end that game? A beautiful pass play, one to another. and then a boomer of a shot on the net. And look at this reaction. These guys just so relieved they get another opportunity. Linus, that captain in the middle, just cheering these guys on, showing that it's just one more. We're so close.
All right, let's keep going. That was fun.
Yeah, no big deal, right?
Yeah, sure,
Nothing.
whatever.
Yeah.
That was good Rocket League.
Yeah, whatever.
I actually don't want to play them anymore. I take that statement back.
Take that back immediately. As soon as you said that, I looked at you and you're like, yeah, okay, I regret it.
No more. We could go into stats for this one, but is there really any point? They are being massively inflated as these two teams have played almost 2 games of Rocket League. Do me a favor, put your hand out for me. It's okay. You're dealing with this much better than I am.
I gotta.
Dude, I'm going here.
Whew, we got this. One of us is going. All right, we're good.
Carry me, buddy. Carry me.
Here for you, man. Here for you.
We are only a matter of seconds away from seeing who will be heading on to our grand finals. This was above and beyond all my expectations, and I'm hoping we can get a climax that does this justice.
People don't remember, you've been asking for this match
This is my dream match.
Season. It's an unbelievable match. And the fact that we're getting it in the winners finals, the first best of 7 on this stage, nothing could be asked for more.
You can hear the North American crowds getting behind both of these European teams.
Just absolutely enjoying every moment of this series. But here it is, game number 7. Winner moves on to the grand finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a breath, because you're not going to breathe again for the next 5 minutes. This is how close everything has been. We need to find a difference maker, and that difference maker will be one more game. Magnus, just trying to find a way out as Gale Force will want to respond as quickly as possible. The answer to your question earlier on, Lawler, was roughly how would the losing team, well, we know exactly how Method would have responded to losing. They would have been dropped straight down. But how can Gale Force respond now to losing such a crucial game?
I mean, it's one of those things, that's what makes the good teams great, is being able to just push it aside and be like, all right, we gave ourselves an extra life. Time to get back into it. They can't let that plague their decisions. They just have to keep doing what they're doing because obviously it's working.
Gale Force are deciding to let their anger show right now. Double players committed. K-Dop is not in a position to try and follow up, but they've already given away 3 different demolishes. As Teleporter with the shot straight into the body of Metznaris again. A little bit more shot accuracy would have spelt the end of this first run of play. Now a lot by himself, wants to try and force a challenge. He's gonna fake it out. It's Violent Panda on the goal line. Will keep it going.
Clutch save and a crucial save that may come down to later. As the ball off the backboard, immediately trapped by Turbo Pulsa. They've been trying to get this dribble game going, and it's been pretty subtle. We saw it work out for Method as these guys going back and forth. Turbo Pulsa playing that into the midfield. Opportunity for Method. They decide to play it into open field, so all their players on the back end can grab some boost.
I wonder if these two teams are just going to settle back into what we had last game. One goal could be the difference maker. So tense right now across the pitch. Mistakes are being made on rotations. Neither team looking for their bread and butter plays. There's going to be a shot for K-Dop, but it is shut down immediately. Neither team wants to lose here. Double mistake made. Metznaris has to try and get into the corner. That will give it up to Violent Panda. Method struggling right now, looking shaky in the defense. Violent Panda with yet another demolish. And Turbo still somehow managed to hit a lot, even when he didn't want to. Now bullying Metznaris, he's opened up the gap and it will be filled by Violent Panda's shot.
The MVP from day 2 yet again showing up strong. He was struggling a little bit towards the end of last game, but look at Turbo Pulsa getting involved, completely removing that defender from the net, leaving it wide open for his captain.
I love this. Usually when we see these big games, teams respond by playing so much more passively, not wanting to make mistakes. There's a flick from K-Dop. I'm going to have to stop my thought for a second there. Gale Force looking for that second goal. To go back to it, usually teams playing so passive. Turbo Pulse's response to this situation is, okay, I'm just going to hit every single orange car I see on this pitch.
If it works, why not?
Oh, great pass to K-Dop, but unfortunately he isn't able to turn around in time. Now into the corner. K-Dop gets beat to the ball by Metznaris. Method trailing by 1-0. And within a blink of an eye, we've only got 2 minutes remaining in this match. Magnus looking for a teammate. He has got Metznaris bouncing off the ball, bouncing off the wall as well, and that is going to be unable to be followed up by Method. There are opportunities waiting around, but they need to be a little bit more clinical and finishing them off.
Ball settles into the corner a lot, still trying to make something happen. This ball popped up into the midfield. First team to it's going to be Method playing it into the corner over to his teammate. Stopped out and demoed out. Allows this Gale Force team a 1v2 situation. But pinched up high and played out immediately. Both teams doing whatever they can to be the first one to challenge.
Second goal could end as Turbopulsar still searching for players in the back, and it is working. Method have been unable to get solid clears every time Gale Force go for a siege, and with this siege continuing, it wastes more time, and it means that Method don't get a shot right now. They just have to defend, finally getting the ball at the half, but the rotation is off, and another shot powered into their half.
Just having one more thing to worry about with Turbopulsar trying to chase you down for a demo, but a shot off the crossbar bouncing up.
Oh, just gets blocked. Turbopulsar aggressive, he protect, but he can also attack. Just gets there in time to save the ball. Vitapanda looking for a mid-air bump. And even when he's going for shots, Turbopulsar is taking players out of the game. This man is on a whole different level right now. Metzenar's trying to take the ball pass with a little bit of class. Time only hitting 30 seconds remaining. Method have to find a way through, but they haven't had a major shooting opportunity in a while. Backflip from one of the Gale Force players, I believe that was K-Dop. Will allow Method to have a look around and see if they can put something together. 20 seconds remaining now. As a lot up first, bounces off the backboard, follow up, not there in time. It was Turbopulsar who has stepped up in game number 7, showing off why he is a world champion. And if it's gonna remain like this, he's gonna have his opportunity to make himself the 2-time world champion. Turbo puts it down to the other end, and if this ball touches the floor, it is over. A lot gets it down. Here's Metzenaris, but a big save from Vitapanda. Nobody is back for Method. Gale